We're back here at Casper, where Mountain View, Buffalo, and Rawlins are going to be competing here for that second finals appearance, that second final spot between the two teams. Lyman has qualified, and they are in tomorrow at 4 p.m. is the scheduled start time for that final. And I have a treat for you Lyman fans. Both head coach Brescia Hansen and Cassie Nelson, senior starter and star, I guess you could call her, for this Lyman Eagle team, as she kind of laughs at that remark. So Cassie Nelson, I'll ask you the first question. Was this like unlike any other match you've played, or is this kind of just any other day for you guys and any other match between you guys and this team?
It was a little different. I mean, they had really big middles, and we don't see a lot of those. But, I mean, we played defense like we always do, and we just kept swinging.
Now, I know you had mentioned that they did have a 6'4" middle, especially as a sophomore. You do not see a girl that is a 6'4" middle very often. Was that something that you guys were kind of like, oh, wow, that's not something you see every day? And you did have a slow start. Was that attributed to that at all, or just figuring out how to get those points?
Yeah, I think we were definitely just trying to figure out how to get those points. We, like I said before, we haven't really seen a really big block like that, and she definitely put up a huge block.
Now, before we went on air, before we were actually live, you did say, oh, man, I'm nervous. Is it more nerve-wracking being live on the radio and live online, or playing in front of thousands of people here in Casper?
Definitely being on the radio.
Any shout-outs you want to give to family, friends, watching, listening back home, or no, nobody listens?
I don't know. Whoever's listening, hey.
Well, so that was Cassie Nelson. I'm going to hand it off to Brescia Hansen now. Thank you for spending time with us, Cassie Nelson. Good luck. We'll see you tomorrow. Before you go, any rooting interest in this one, or are you just interested in seeing another good semifinal? Maybe them beat each other up and have a worn-down team tomorrow?
Oh, yeah, I hope they go to 5 and they're tired.
All right, that was Cassie Nelson, star for the Lyman Eagles volleyball team. Now I have head coach Brescia Hansen with us. Now, Brescia, you have played Mountain View 5 times. Have you played Rawlins this year?
Yes.
You have played Rawlins this year. So it's going to be a team that you've at least seen before in that finals match. Is that something that maybe that you're a little happy about, that you have some film on them? Obviously, you're going to have film on everybody at this point, 35 games through the season. But is that something where you're like, okay, we know at least what we're expecting, especially if it's Mountain View where you played them 5 times. There's no tricks left between Mountain View and Lyman.
Right. We know them inside and out, and they know us. So that'll be interesting if that happens again. We played Rawlins once in a 2-set match at the Rawlins tournament. It was almost 2 months ago. So that's the only time we've seen them, so we don't know each other quite as well.
Now, for you as a coach, obviously a little bit different than being a player in this atmosphere, but certainly a coach still has a lot to play for, and it can get to a coach too, and there can be moments. I did see you have to call both timeouts near the end of that first set, but to your credit, you did fight off 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 set points from Douglas in that first set, and you guys won on your first. Is that something where you just kind of, you're 33-0, it's built up this season where you have that stamina of, okay, they have a set point, but that doesn't mean they've won the set?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that, and I've got kids that are veterans, and they know it's not over until somebody's beat us by 2, and so what's great about my kids is they don't panic. I mean, we were tied. I'm not going to say we weren't tied at the start of that set. We were, but they didn't panic when push came to shove, and that's huge. Yeah.
What, if any, words of advice do you have to offer to your team, or will you have to offer to your team going into tomorrow's match? Whether you said it after this match, or you're planning on saying it tonight, tomorrow morning, anything like that. Like, I know it's a cliche, it's like any other match. It's not. There's thousands of people watching. There's going to be a lot of people who maybe even weren't here this weekend are coming tomorrow specifically to watch the match. Mountain View's brought a lot of fans. Rawlins has certainly a ton of fans, and you guys have a lot of fans. It's not like any other match because you're playing for that state title. What are you going to say to your team?
Kind of the theme of regionals and state for us when we go into the locker room and talk is to play for each other. I mean, I've got all seniors. Those kids have played together since they were 12 years old, and they really, truly love each other. And they're going to put it out on the line for each other, and so something along those lines is what I'll try to spin for them tomorrow, to just work hard for each other. Yeah.
So there was a bit of a moment in I believe it was the 3rd set of this match, where Olivia Smith went after a ball well out of the court, got tangled up into the net that hangs from the rafters here, and she was down for a minute, And luckily, it was not an injury. It just seemed like she got herself really tangled into that net. All 5 girls on the court kind of meandered their way over there and was like, Olivia, what are you doing? She's like, help me. Obviously, with Kylie Walker being sick, now have a little bit of a finger getting taped up. Is there anything that you can do to try to put your players in a bubble tonight where they just say, don't do anything stupid. We need you on the court tomorrow playing.
Well, I mean, if anyone's going to get tangled up in that net, it's going to be Olivia. So I think that we all knew that. But yeah, I mean, Kylie's a little beat up. She's just coming off of a little bit of a stomach bug of some sort, and she's got a finger thing going on. But my kids they're gamers. They're going to come to play tomorrow. They're going to do what's right. They're going to go to bed. They're going to eat good stuff. They're going to take care of themselves. They're going to show up tomorrow and give it their all. So.
Final question, Coach. Lyman wins the state title if blank. What happens tomorrow for you guys to win the state title? I know you don't know who you're playing, but can you just kind of generalize it and put main thing under it?
If we can play defense. Offense is not a problem for us. If we can play defense, and that's both blocking at the net and defense in the back row, we'll win.
Well, thank you, Head Coach Brescia Hansen. Thank you for bringing also Cassidy Nelson over to our booth. Really appreciate it. I'll let you go and watch this match. It should be an interesting match, and as Cassidy said, I hope they go to 5 sets, and I'm sure that you share that sentiment and that they get tired. But as it stands right now, you guys are in the state titles. It must be a nice feeling to be able to just watch this next semifinal.
Yep, it's phenomenal. Yep.
Thank you, Coach. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, thanks.
I really do appreciate that.
My name is Dr. Micah Pullins. I'm an orthopedic surgeon at Evanston Regional Hospital. Orthopedic surgery is the practice of medicine centered around bones and joints. It's all about movement and activity and getting that to be less painful. Watching a patient with a specific problem, whether that's pain or decreased range of motion, and being able to treat them, by far the best part of my job.
Your mobility affects every aspect of your life. When you suffer from an injury that decreases your mobility, or maybe you're just noticing that you're having a harder time balancing and your flexibility isn't what it used to be, call Randy Christofferson at Achieve Sports Medicine. Randy will work with you to improve your overall health by reducing pain and improving mobility. Schedule your appointment today by calling 307-747-4627. Achieve Sports Medicine in Lyman. No excuses, just results.
Back here in Casper. Thank you for tuning in. We started that stream a little early. I was able to pull both head coach Brescia Hansen and Cassie Nelson, star player, one of the many stars on that team. It feels like everyone that plays for Lyman this season has been a star and has showed up. We were able to pull both of them, get an interview, so if you missed that, go to MyLocalRadio.com. Once this stream ends, you'll be able to listen to that interview live at the start of this stream. And we have our lineups being announced for this Rawlins and Mountain View match. Mountain View changing it up here. They're going to be wearing black on black tonight. Black tops and black bottoms. Except for the libero, of course. That will be Allie Bugis in the white. She's going to wear white tonight as the libero. And just a pet peeve of mine. I know it's a little weird to say, but it is a pet peeve when two teams wear the same colors when they do not absolutely need to wear those same colors. And Rawlins is also going to be in black tonight. They have red bottoms, so at least that is different. But Mountain View's purple, Rawlins is red. I don't know, it almost seems like, why couldn't one team wear red or one team wear purple? But anyway, I digress here on a mini tangent, as both teams are ready to go after the starting lineups have been announced, and the Rawlins team getting ready to go. They are trying to make this one a match, trying to get to that championship match, actually. So on court 3A, on the 3A court, we will have Rawlins and Mountain View. Mountain View trying to get to that championship match, trying to win their first championship in 21 years. Rawlins trying to get back to a place they have been, I wouldn't say very often, but a place that they have been at least closer than Mountain View was. Back here and ready to go. Rawlins will serve, and they get it over the net. And that one is out, but actually off of a touch. Diana Timms was pumping her fist as she thought that ball was clear out of play, but it was off of a tip. And Rawlins gets the first point of this second semifinal as that ball is up and over the net. On the outside, swinging for it. This one's going to be attacked from Rawlins. That was number 15, Mackenzie Earl. And Earl gets the point there. As this team from Rawlins, senior laden, they have a lot of seniors, as does Mountain View. Both teams trying to compete here and get to a championship match, and that is out of play. So that is how Mountain View will get their first point of this second semifinal, second of two on the day. And back to serve is Georges, and Georges sends it clear through the court and out of play, so back-to-back service errors. And it's 3-1, Rawlins with the lead here, enjoying the advantage in this one early in set number one. Bugis, Georges, Rinker going to be set up middle. Rinker attacks it, cannot finish it. In the middle on the outside, swinging forward, and that is Rawlins, number 8. Melise Morgan, the sophomore outside hitter, was able to connect with that one and get that out of play. 4-1 here. Rawlins jumping out to the early lead as on the outside, Jenkins just kind of had to jump back and somehow not get a double hit on that one, but it stays alive. On the outside, that one is going to be straight out of play. So that one attacked from number 12, Jesse Jerome. And Jerome sends it clear through the court, out of play. Jenkins back to serve deep here for Mountain View. She'll jump serve, get it over the net onto the Rawlins side. And Rawlins sends it right up that near sideline. And that is number 15, Mackenzie Earl. Once again, we're going to be saying her name a lot. The 5'10 sophomore, a key component to this Rawlins offense. Bugis receives the Rawlins serve. George is going to set it up middle. Herford, Haley Herford sends it well out of play, long, and it is another Rawlins point here. 6-2 with the early lead in this match, and Rawlins serves it over the net, creeps off the top of the net. Jenkins comes in, makes a dive, and saves it. On the outside, blocked at the net there. I believe it was Rinker who got her hands on it, but she's not able to get that one focused the right direction. And it's an early timeout here for Diana Timms. There is probably about 80 to 85% Rawlins crowd here for this second semifinal. Obviously a much shorter trip for Rawlins, but the Rawlins fans really came out here and they're making it loud, and Diana Timms wants to pull her team aside, not wanting this first set to get away from them. There are a couple, yes, and it does look like that is a Rawlins student section. I had to pause for a moment because Powell did have, excuse me, not Powell, Douglas had a student section in the match before this match, and it looks like those students have circled out, and some Rawlins students have come in the gym on a Friday evening. So Rawlins has their own little 3-row student section on the baseline, and they're also dressed up in some Halloween garb, Halloween costumes. So as of right now, they are celebrating with their team with a 7-2 lead. Back to action here as Rawlins serves. Attack from Lindy Herford on the outside, cannot finish it. Georges takes the first ball. Bugus going to bump it up to set it to Lindy Herford. Lindy Herford can't finish it. On the outside, diving save there by Georges. Haley Herford at the net, jump ball, just pokes it over onto the Rawlins side. On the outside, swinging for it. That was Brooke Palmer. And in the back row, Jenkins, she's tapping her chest after that one as she's patting her chest saying, my bad, sorry about that. And it is out of play into the net. So 8-2 here, Rawlins leading. This one's going to be pushed to the outside. Lindy Herford pushes it over the net, free ball for Rawlins. On the outside, kept alive. That was Earl at the net. Earl once again attacking, and Earl sends it out of play. No touch on this one, and no, there is a touch. The official from the far corner said that there was a touch at the net, and it is a Rawlins point, and they lead 9-2 in this match. So Mountain View certainly not how they envisioned coming out of the tunnel today, trailing 9-2 out of the gate. Lindy Herford takes this ball, tapped over the net. She's going to attack it on the outside of the left side, and she will miss that one as she rolls it into the net, and it is 10-2. So Mountain View not off to a good start here. Rawlins trying to keep it going, and that one is just how you do it there. Libero number 14, Mackenzie Steele, places it right in front of a diving backline defender for Mountain View, not quick enough to it. And it's 11-2. This one floated over the net. Bugus over to Georges. Going to set it up middle. Lindy Herford pushes it. Earl was there on the outside. Swinging and connecting is another Rawlins player. That one, Brooke Palmer, sophomore for this team, trying to lead her Rawlins Outlaws back to the state final. Attack from Lindy Herford, can't finish it. Earl on the outside, Bugus over her head. Jenkins gonna bump it, free ball, getting over the net. Wow, just a brilliant play to get that ball over the net, and it is no need as immediately after the ball goes back onto the Rawlins side, they set it up middle, and Jordan Jerome is able to finish that one right off Jenkins. 13-2 here in set number one. Mountain View on the wrong side of this one early, and Bugus dives, cannot get to it, and Diana Timms will take her second and final timeout here of set number one. We're going to take a timeout too on MyLocalRadio.com and KADQ 98.3. Join us after this commercial break.
Dr. Dog, the other day I was at the dog park and ran into Keegan, the Irish setter from up the road. When we smelled hello, I was surprised because he smelled like delicious roasted duck. When I asked if he'd been hunting, he said nein, he had been to see you.
Yes, Mr. Hans German Shepherd, I'm recommending Canine Superfood Advanced from PetMinerals.com for all my canine patients. The powder mixes with your dog food to create a delicious duck-flavored gravy. Order your Superfood Advanced from PetMinerals.com today.
Well, Diana Timms hopefully has the right approach here as her team has the ball, trailing in this one 14-3 out of the timeout. Bugus, not going to happen there as Bugus serves it right through the court. So a little bit of nerves early in this match costing Mountain View. They trail 15-3. Bugus receives the Rawlins serve, sets it up on the outside, and Haley Stevens, the usually reliable Haley Stevens, sees that one roll off her hand and out of play. 16-3 in this match. Bugus, Georges in the middle. Stevens cannot finish it. Rawlins pushes it to the opposite corner. Lindy Herford dives, gets it over to her setter, gets it right back, and she hits it clean out of play through the court. And it is 17-3. So Rawlins looking like a pure number one out of the gate. And that one, maybe an announcer jinx, goes right into the net there. And 17-4. So Mountain View going to need one of their historic runs here to get back into this first set. And not trail by a set. Jenkins takes the second ball, sets it over to Lindy Hereford. Lindy Hereford pushes it to the back line. A diving effort there from Rawlins, not quick enough. Brooklyn Arnold, the nearest one to it, the senior. And it is a Mountain View point. Serve from Haley Hereford, gets over the net. Lindy Hereford going for the block in the front, cannot get it. Jenkins, Georges on the outside. Lindy Hereford's going to get it back. She taps it right over the double block, and that is going to be a Mountain View Buffalo point. Jordan Jerome on the block there, could not get her hands on it. It is 17-6. Rawlins had to scramble to receive that serve. They get her over. Bugus, Georges, Lindy Hereford gets it over the net. In the middle, just dumped over the net. Jenkins comes in and keeps it alive. Lindy Hereford off the net, and a touch. It was off the net, then a touch of a Rawlins blocker, and out of play, it is 17-7. So Mountain View, 3 points in a row here. They need a couple more of those if they want to stay alive in this one. On the outside, swinging forward, and it is out of play. No touch there from Rawlins. As Rawlins fans and players think they had touched, I believe that was Bugus on the back line. They believe it touched her shoulder before going out of bounds. It did not, and it's 17-8. Mountain View trying to make a comeback. Georges going to set it up middle. Stevens attacks it. Diving effort there from Rawlins. Keeps it alive momentarily. Swinging at the net, and it is into the net there from Melise Morgan. And out of play, and it's 17-9. 5 in a row for the Buffalo. Haley Hereford back to serve again. Hereford gets it, twists around Morgan, but she receives the serve, and it is a double touch there as Morgan sends it over the net, and it is 6 in a row here for the Buffalo. Haley Hereford serve over the net, attack from Earl. Bugus in the back row receives. Georges on the outside. Lindy Hereford attacking it. A diving effort in the back corner there from Rawlins. Cannot get to it. Miranda Wagner was too slow, the senior. And it is 17-11. And Rawlins head coach Aubrey Griffiths will call a timeout. So Aubrey Griffiths, her team was up 17-4. And just with the snap of a finger, Mountain View, it now only trails 17-11. So 7 in a row for the Buffalo.
I have another one of those to keep that.
Oh, thank you so much. 17-11. Mountain View serving, and Haley Hereford sends it over the net. Kept alive, pushed to the back row. On the outside, Georges. Lindy Hereford gets it over the net, just dumps it. Haley Hereford receives the ball, and a free ball from Rawlins. Kept up alive at the net. Hereford back to Haley Hereford. She just pushes it all the way to the back corner. Free ball for Rawlins in the middle. Earl swings. Earl hits it, but she hits it too hard, too long. Out of play there, and it's 17-12. 8 in a row for the Buffalo, and just as I say that, Haley Hereford stops her long serving run with a ball clean out of the court, and it's 18-12. So 8 in a row there for the Buffalo. Have gotten them closer here in set number 1. Lindy Hereford attacking it, and that's going to be a kill for Lindy Hereford. As running after it was Rawlins' number 1, Olivia Pacheco. But Pacheco not able to navigate around that umpire's stand on the opposite side where the down official stands. It is very clunky over there, so blocked at the net, kept alive. No, they're going to say that play was stopped. It was a carry. There was a block at the net. The ball came down with the Mountain View player, and they said that they carried it when trying to keep it alive. So 19-13, Rawlins leading here, trying to close out this first set. Georges on the outside, Jenkins. Haley Hereford on the outside, Georges taps it over the net. Free ball for Rawlins in the middle. Rawlins taps it off the double block of Mountain View, and another point for Miranda Wagner, the right hitter for Rawlins, and they lead 20-13. Serving here, and this ball is in. Bugus lets it go, and it touched the back line. Dana Timms claps her hands together and says, that's all right, that's all right. So it is 21-13 after that ace. Miranda Wagner serving. Jenkins receives the serve. Kept alive. Georges tapped at the net. Jump ball. It comes down on the Mountain View Buffalo side, and it is 22-13. 22-13 in this one. Mountain View tried to fight back into this first set. Hasn't gone the way they planned since the get-go here after trailing right out of the jump by a sizable amount. Frankie Jenkins, Georges, going to back set this one to Jenkins, and Jenkins looks at her hands as she hits that one into the net. She looks down at her hands and says, why are you betraying me? It is 23-13. Rawlins, the number 1 seed out of the East, looking every bit like a number 1 seed early. Georges going to set this straight up in the air. Stevens swings at it. Stevens gets it over the net. Rawlins sends a free ball back to Mountain View. Mountain View on the outside. Frankie Jenkins swings, and no contact there. And it is a Rawlins point and a set point. 24-13 in set number 1. Rawlins trying to finish it out. Their fans are all on their feet cheering, and there are a lot of them. And that's not going to do it on that one, as it sends it straight out of play on the Rawlins serve. So Mountain View has fought off 1 set point. They're going to need the next 10 in a row if they want to stay alive. Rawlins sets it up wide. Wagner off the block. Lindy Herford just stabs at it to keep it alive. She will push it over the net. And a little miscommunication there from Rawlins as 2 players come together. They get it over. Mountain View able to dig it out after a spike and keep it alive. Rawlins, another spike there, goes off of the block and out of play. I believe that was Haley Herford got a block on it, but it went out of play after touching her hands. And that's the end of the first set. A first set that the Rawlins Outlaws made the Mountain View Buffalo look like outlaws on their own, in their own game. 25-14 after 1 set. Join us after this commercial break on MyLocalRadio.com and KADQ 98.3.
When you have any mechanical problems, always think of Reese Auto Service in Lyman first. Doug and the mechanics at Reese Auto Service work on everything from your lawnmower and snowblower to cars, trucks, farm and ranch equipment, and semis. You can also get tires for anything you need at Reese Auto Service. Always visit Reese first. You'll get great pricing and quality-friendly service. Reese Auto Service, 541 Highway 413, Lyman.
Back here in Casper, not a lot of waiting around for the Rawlins Outlaws as they immediately break their huddle after spending maybe like 10 seconds in their in-between set huddle. And they're back out on the court, huddling amongst themselves as a team. Not a lot to talk about, not a lot needed to talk about when your team wins a set 25-14, and that included an 8-0 run from Mountain View. So if not for that 8-0 run, it could have been a lot worse. So I feel like Rawlins and head coach Aubrey Griffiths kind of just says, hey, go and do what we did in that first set. The Douglas fans have exited and the Rawlins student section is here. So back-to-back matches with a student section for the semifinal. Gotta love that. And they are up, being very loud, as Mountain View will now take over, going left to right in their black tops, black bottoms, and Rawlins in the black tops, red bottoms will go right to left on your dial or your computer screen, depending on which device you are listening to us from. And Mountain View has broken their huddle, and they are moseying their way onto the court here. So we look to be all ready to go as the lines judges will get their final instructions from the head official in the chair and get ready to go. As the official tosses the ball away, and as there was already a ball in play, Bugus will check in for Rinker. Bugus, the libero, will come in as is customary. And Lindy Hereford will serve to start the second set. She gets it over the net, received by Rawlins on the outside. This one's going to be set to Earl. Earl thought she had finished the point. She did not. Nice dig there from Mountain View. And this one she did finish. Earl, second time's the charm there as she blasts that one right by Bugis. She went cross court to that back left corner. Bugis leaning the wrong direction, could not get a handle on it. Pacheco serves, and Pacheco gets an ace. I think that's the third or fourth time that's happened already in this match where a Rawlins player has served it right on that back line. Bugis and company let it go, and the ball hits the back line. So maybe you just need to back up one step here or have somebody on that back line to determine if the ball is going to go out of play. And that ball is out of play after a Lindy Hereford attempt at a kill went straight into the net. And it's 3-0 Rawlins here, just like the first set when Rawlins went on a long run to start the set. Frankie Jenkins attacks from the left side, going to send it to the right side of Rawlins. Picked up and blocked at the net there from Georges off the hit of Mackenzie Earl, and falls down on Georges' side of the net. So that's 4-0 Rawlins. The Outlaws looking good here in this match so far. On the outside, Frankie Jenkins swinging for it. Diving effort there. Kept it alive on the outside. Swinging. Blocked at the net there. And number 7, Brooklyn Arnold, sees that one come right back at her after she tried to attempt the kill and unsuccessfully. So Stevens will take the ball in the back line and serve for Mountain View. Free ball coming over from Rawlins after the serve. Georges on the outside. Frankie Jenkins going to attack it, and Frankie Jenkins hits it right in that back right corner, right to head coach Aubrey Griffiths, who literally just sticks her hands out and was like, what are we doing? That whole back right corner was unoccupied. I think she was upset at the rotation there. Having nobody in that entire corner of the court is not a smart idea usually. Frankie Jenkins going to go near right side, cannot finish it as Earl was there. They'll get another chance though. Jenkins going to tap it off the blockers, kept alive. Third ball being rolled over from Earl. Georges going to set up Jenkins again. Jenkins trying to finish it, cannot finish it. Taylor Peratz is there. And this one, Earl swings at from the left side, and she hits it into the net. In Mountain View has cut that deficit down to 1. They trail 4-3 here in set number 2 after losing set number 1, 25-14. And that serve is barely squeaking over the net. Haley Stevens gets that one. It did not touch the tape, but it nearly did, and a diving effort there on the right side. Could not get to it as the front right side of the net is unoccupied. She'll try to do it again. This time Rawlins was there and ready. Slapped that over the net off the serve. Rinker sends a free ball back to Rawlins. Kept alive, bumped up. Third ball, and Earl just rolls it over the net. And it is 4-all here in set number 2. Rawlins has seen their lead evaporate in this one. On the outside, swinging for it, kept alive, Lindy Hereford. Georges. Jenkins just tries to tap at it, cannot finish it. And that is going to be out of play. It went onto the Rawlins side of the court, but unfortunately for Mountain View, it went to the wrong side of the antenna. You have to, there are 2 long poles on each side of the net. You have to hit it through those 2 poles to be kept alive, and they did not get that one. So it's 5-4, Rawlins with the lead. Rinker going to be set up here in the middle, and Rinker gets underneath it and sends this one out of play long. So Rinker just took a bad angle, had a bad angle on it, and it's 6-4. Georges on the outside, Frankie Jenkins swinging. Frankie Jenkins connects to the back line. On the outside, Earl from Rawlins, blocked by Rinker. You're going to set this one up in the middle, kept alive, and sent back to the Rawlins side. This one's going to be set up on the other side to the far right side, and there is a touch, yes. Immediately, the Rawlins players all wanted a touch. Aaliyah Edwards on that one was immediately signaling that she got a touch. She saw a touch on that one in the back corner. They ruled the touch, so it's 7-4, Rawlins with the lead. Bugis sends it over. On the outside, Earl going to swing for it, and Earl sends it out of bounds, and that is a Mountain View point. So 7-5 in this match so far, as do still see a lot of Lyman fans in the building watching to see who they will play. Maybe rooting for or rooting against their Bridger Valley opponent, Mountain View. Bugus keeps it alive. Georges on the outside. Frankie Jenkins swinging for it, keeps it up. On the outside, Earl's going to get set here, and Jenkins is going to get blocked. Jenkins is going to get a block, but unfortunately for her, it comes down on her own side, and that is going to be another Rawlins point. 8-5, Rawlins with the lead. Set number 2. Georges keeps it alive. Bugus is going to back row attack. She's going to send it to that back right corner. Cannot finish it. The libero for Rawlins is there, and that's an attack from number 13 of Rawlins, Jordan Jerome. The junior middle blocker went right up that far sideline and got a piece of it, and it's 9-5. So Rawlins has the advantage here. Mountain View will call a timeout on MyLocalRadio.com and KADQ 98.3.
If you can't give your dentist a 5-star rating, then you want to consider making your next dental appointment with Dr. McKay Frankham. One patient said, "The best experience I've ever had at a dentist." Other customer comments include 5 stars plus. And not only is Dr. Frankham the best dentist I've ever been to, but I can actually afford to have dental work done by Dr. Frankham. Make your next dental visit a 5-star experience. Call for an appointment today at 307-789-8910.
Back here in Casper, where Rawlins has a 9-5 advantage over Mountain View in this match. Mountain View back out onto the court, as is Rawlins, and we are ready to serve in this one. Mackenzie Steele to serve. Bugus receives the serve. On the outside, Allie Rinker taps it over the net, keeps it alive, and that one's slapped out again by Rinker, and she sends that one and plants it in the back row, and it's a 9-6 advantage for Rawlins. After that point from Mountain View, they get the side out after the timeout. Diana Timms achieves what she was trying to at that timeout. 9-6 here. On the outside, swinging for it, Earl. Earl sends it off the block of Lindy Herford, well out of play, and it's 10-6. So Rawlins with the point there, gets the possession back. Keeps it alive. Georges on the outside. Haley Stevens sends it over. Jump set there, and this one is on the outside, and it hits the back corner there. Rawlins, another successful attack from Jordan Jerome. Jordan Jerome doing everything she can to lead Rawlins to that championship match and play Lyman this year for the second time. And that serve is taken by Jenkins, kind of sent in the direction of Allie Rinker. Allie Rinker kind of had to chase after it and could not get to it in time. And it's 12-6. So a crucial point here for Mountain View if they want to stay in this match. If in the second set, they can't let this second set get away from them. This one's going to be set up middle and pushed to the back line there. Kept alive. Brooke Palmer tried to do the fancy play. Palmer will dive after this one after it's tapped over from Lindy Herford. And she gets a piece of it, does Palmer, but not enough of it. And that's out of play. 12-7 in this match, as Rawlins leading. Pacheco sets up on the outside. Earl cannot get enough of it, sends it out of play, and it is 12-8. 12-8, Mountain View looking good in this second set. After they trailed by a lot, they've cut the deficit down to 4. Kept alive on the outside. And blocked at the net there by Haley Stevens. Comes down with it, kind of goes off of the block of Stevens and into the hands of Haley Herford and out of play. It's 13-8. Kept alive. Serve. Georges on the outside. Stevens going to swing for it. Stevens sends it into the net. On a roll shot. Nothing going right for head coach Diana Timms and the Mountain View Buffaloes. I don't know if it's nerves. I don't know if it's Rawlins being an experienced team and a team that is #1 seed, but it just looks like a different classification right now between these two teams, unfortunately for Mountain View. Third ball, pushed to the back line from Lindy Herford. Rawlins reacts and is able to keep it alive. Lindy Herford, Georges, going to set it up middle. Haley Stevens, and punched at by a Rawlins defender, kept alive. And that one, Lindy Herford just had to stab at it with one arm and sends it over her head and back towards the 4A court adjoining ours. And it's 15-8. So 15-8, and that serve is set well out of play there. Brooke Palmer tried to hit that back line, could not get to it, and it is 15-9 in this match now. This serve gets over the net. Pacheco going to set up Earl. Earl swings, and Earl throws it off the hands of Haley Herford in that back line. And Dan Tim, standing on the sideline, grabs the clipboard from her assistant coach, looks at it for a minute, and then just kind of tosses it away in disgust. A lot to be upset about if you're a Mountain View fan. 16-9, Rawlins with the set advantage. It'll lead this second set, 16-9. Eye outside, blocked on the Mountain View side. Stevens puts her hands on her head. She knows she probably should have had that one, and Stevens comes down with it. Looks like a lot of frustration right now, a lot of emotions on the court. Probably not in the favor of Mountain View as they trail 17-9. They let that one go. The lines judge says it did go out of play, so a service error will give it back to the Buffalo. I'm just not seeing that effort from the Buffalo right now, whether it's emotions on the court or being able to navigate their way around falling down early. It just seems like no one's really there to pick them up. Usually Allie Bugis is there jumping up and down to get her team some support, but it just seems like their effort, their emotion is flat on the court, and there's nobody to re-inject some life into them. And that ball is attacked from the outside. Number 10, Miranda Wagner, tried to get a piece of it and could not get what she wanted there. She sends it out of play, and it's 17-12. In the middle, blocked. Stevens sends it back over into the corner. Bugis over her head, bumps it to keep it alive. Jenkins sends it to that back corner. Rawlins is there. Earl in the middle, and that one is straight out of play from Jordan Jerome. Jordan Jerome missed that one by a couple feet long, and it's 17-13. Kept alive. Georges in the middle. Stevens attacks it, and that is out of play. Just missed that sideline by about a foot. And Rawlins has the serve. That serve goes into the net, so Mountain View will get the point back. And that one is going to be a service error and given right back to Rawlins there, as Rawlins trying everything within their powers, leading 19-14 in here in set number 2. Kept alive. Earl sends it over the net. Georges. Lindy Herford, and there is going to be a stoppage of play there as the ball from the adjoining 4A court rolled onto the 3A court, so it's 19-14. We will reserve and restart the point. Kept alive. Georges. Jenkins. Rinker in the middle, taps it over the net, and just tapped right back from Rawlins. Number 6, Brooke Palmer, could not get Mountain View to handle that one, and Mountain View sends it out of play. 20-14, Rawlins leads here, and they serve. Lindy Herford steps in to take the serve. Going to be set up wide for Jenkins. Pacheco. Earl set up. Bugis goes all the way to that corner, takes the bump and receives it. Jenkins, and that was Georges and Haley Herford came together, and Haley Herford tried to bump it over on the outside, but it was a line drive, and it kind of went right into the net there. So 21-14, Rawlins with the lead, looking to close out set number 2 and go up 2-0. Jenkins attacks it, and Jenkins throws it right off the outstretched hands of Miranda Wagner and Brooke Palmer, both on a double block there for Rawlins, and it is 21-15 in this match. So 21-15, Georges will serve, needing this one to get in. She does. Pacheco going to back set on the outside, and Wagner is able to put it right up the sideline. Looked like it was going to go out of bounds, but Lindy Herford was kind of straddling that sideline, and she reached out to her left, as in out of the court to her left, and tried to get a piece of it, but sent it towards the 4A court. And that one not going to be successful from Rawlins. Mackenzie Steele does a little hop, skip, and a jump back to the sideline after she serves it into the net. She will check out as the libero. 22-16, Rawlins still has an advantage, though, in set number 2. On the outside, blocked by Rinker in the middle, and right back onto the Rawlins side. Pacheco going to set up Earl, blocked, sent to the back row. Bugis, Georges on the outside. Lindy Herford taps it right over a block, just kind of rolled that one over. Nice little roll shot there, and she put it where it needed to be in a perfect position there. 22-17 in set number 2. Rawlins leading, but Mountain View trying to cut this deficit down even further. Jenkins back sets, and that one is kept alive as it's into the net, and it goes on to the Mountain View side, and that is going to be a Mountain View defender touching it and going out of play. I didn't think a Mountain View player touched it on the block, but they said a Mountain View player touched it, making Rawlins eligible to touch it, and Rawlins was able to power it home the second time around. On the outside, Lindy Herford trying to power this one home, cannot. Earl in the back line receives it, and that one is put away. Jordan Jerome, once again we say that name, and it is a set point in set number 2, the first for Rawlins, leading 24-17. Earl serves, clips the tape, gets over the net. Georges sets up on the outside. Lindy Herford pushes it to the back line. Rawlins is there. This one's going to be set up wide, and that one is in. That's how the second set ends. Brooke Palmer set up from the right side. She gets a set on the left side, and she puts it away right over Mountain View defenders on that back line, and it is a 25-17 set number 2, and Mountain View, well, head coach Diana Timms is going to need to get something going here if Mountain View wants to stay alive for state title contention. They are against the ropes. Let's see if they'll pull off a Rocky and bounce off the ropes and stay alive, or if this is going to be a straight KO.
MyLocalRadio.com is Southwest Wyoming and Northeast Utah's top website and the best source for local area news, weather, sports, and community events. And that's not all. MyLocalRadio.com features thousands of photographs of Wyoming and Utah high school events, from speech and drama competitions to local events, sports and activities, and much more. Check it out today and see what MyLocalRadio.com has for you. Serving Wyoming since 1941, Plains Tire is Wyoming's oldest and largest tire dealer with great locations throughout the state. They'll get you the right tires that offer the best results for your vehicle at the lowest prices, guaranteed. Plus, you can go to any Plains Tire Pro dealer with their nationwide warranty service. And check out their Plains Tire phone app.
Come down and see us at Plains Tires on 157 Bear River Drive for all your automotive needs. Hablamos también español.
No matter what you need to have printed, Westar Printing is the place you want to have it done. Calendars, letterhead, envelopes, brochures, books, posters, vinyl banners, business forms, announcements, wedding invitations, and business cards are just a few examples. You can also have your favorite family photos printed on canvas or placed into a personalized family photo calendar. You will want to do business with Westar Printing. Stop in today. Westar Printing, 243 7th Street in Evanston.
Well, we are back here in Casper. Mountain View and head coach Diana Timms hoping not for the final time in this semifinal, as they hope to continue their season and a state title hopes. They'll need to win the next 3 sets if they want to advance to the finals, and that one set up for Bugis and attack there in the middle, and that's going to be a Mountain View point. So 1-0, Mountain View takes the first point of set number 3. So nice change after falling behind 3-0 and 4-0 in the first 2 sets. Stevens in the back row sends it over to Georges. Jenkins taps it over a double block. Rinker comes in, gives it back to Jenkins. Jenkins tries to finish it. Rinker jump ball at the net, just tries to rooftop it, cannot. Kept alive. Rawlins back onto the Mountain View side. Free ball. Jenkins swinging, and Jenkins connects. Jenkins right up that far sideline, that far right sideline, and it is 2-0 here in set number 3, as Mountain View trying to prove that they have something left in the tank. Rinker takes the first ball over to Georges. Jenkins has to back up, so she just bumps it over. Free ball for Rawlins. Earl's going to get the free ball, and Lindy Herford cannot finish it there, and goes into 4A court, so unfortunately for them, a little payback for what they've done today in sending a ball into the opposite court and a restart of their point. So 2-1 here. Mountain View with the lead in set number 3. Not used to saying that in this match, and just like that, it is gone as Lindy Herford was in the back line and tried to receive the serve, but she just kind of stuck out her arms and came up just short as it kind of went right off her knuckles and into the net on the line drive. 2-2 here in set number 3. On the outside, just rolled over the net there for Rawlins. Brooklyn Arnold. Arnold in the back line, keeps it alive, sends it to Earl. Earl taps it over a double block of Rinker and Georges. Diving effort from Frankie Jenkins in the back line, cannot get it. And it's 3-2 here in set number 3. Over the net, on the outside, Frankie Jenkins swinging, cannot connect. Kept alive there momentarily as Georges dives for it after Rawlins just kind of tapped it over, and she did pancake it, just got no elevation off the top of her hand, and the ball fell to the ground. 4-2, 4 consecutive points here for Rawlins have given them a 4-2 advantage. Georges sends it over to Rinker, trying to finish that run, and she will, as about 3 Rawlins players wind up on the court, and because of that, the ball goes out of play, and it is 4-3. So Rawlins still with the advantage, up 2 sets to love, and with a 4-3 advantage. On the outside, swinging for it, blocked at the net, kept alive, and out of play into the umpire's chair, and it's 5-3. 5-3 in this match, and Mountain View gonna need to go on a run here and sustain a drive as Jenkins sends it over to Georges. Jenkins gets it back, blocked at the net and out of play. So for the first time in what seems like a while, maybe the first time tonight, Mountain View slams it off a Rawlins block and it goes out of play. So good effort there, and Frankie Jenkins has the ball back to serve. Her team leading or trailing 5-4. Jenkins gets it over the net, blocked by Rinker. Back onto the Rawlins side. Rawlins attacks it from the left, and that is going to be a kill. Lindy Herford not quick enough to get there. A diving effort though, and it is 6-4. Lindy Herford attacks it and throws it off a double block. On that one, Rawlins, that was number 13, Jordan Jerome, and Olivia Pacheco could not get there in time. Bugis receives the serve, keeps it alive, and Bugis in the back row for Mountain View keeps it up. And Lindy Herford attacks it, tries to jump and just roll it over the net, cannot get it in time, and it's 5-1. Or 7-5, excuse me. Scoreboard's far away and is very small, so sometimes the numbers deceive me. 7-5, Rawlins leading. Immediately after I said it, I was like, it is not 5-1, but albeit, Rawlins serves it over the net. Bugis gets it over to Georges. Georges kind of dumps it, just slaps at it, taps it over the net, off of a Rawlins block, and it goes on play. So Rawlins gives up a point there, and Lindy Herford back to serve, or Haley Herford, excuse me. She jumps up, and that goes right into the net off of a line drive. So 8-6. Now Rawlins after the service error. Frankie Jenkins, Georges on the outside, tapped over by Lindy Herford, cannot finish it. On the outside, swinging forward, and that hits the sideline. Frankie Jenkins was in that back left corner, but it went back. It went to the left side, but it went right along the net, so there was no chance she could get there, and it's 9-6. Rawlins leads. Jenkins on her knees receives the serve in the middle, set up for Lindy Herford. She can't finish it. On the outside, this one's tapped over the net, and that is a Mountain View point as that one is tapped over the net, and it just lands on the Rawlins side innocently there, and it's 9-7. Lindy Hereford gets it over the net. Bugus keeps it alive. Georges on a bump on the outside. Frankie Jenkins cannot finish it. Dumped over there. Sliding effort on her knees from Lindy Hereford. Keeps it alive. Stevens just tried to poke it over. Blocked and sent right back. But Lindy Hereford keeps it alive. Lindy Hereford does the same exact thing on the very next ball. And it's kept alive. Bugus, Georges tapped up and kept alive. And that's going to be a carry there from Frankie Jenkins as she had to run in. There's a double block already jumping up, and it was one of those balls that was close to the net, so she couldn't really get the correct angle on it, and she just tried to tap it over, but her palm was open, and she hit it with her palm, so it is a 10-7 advantage for Rawlins, and they will serve. Pacheco back to serve. Gets it over the net. Jenkins, Georges, Stevens throws it off the block, and that is a Mountain View kill. Miranda Wagner could not get all of that one on the block, and that is a Mountain View point. So 10-8, Mountain View trailing here. And that one is out of play. Attack from Earl on the left side. Tried to go middle, and she hit it straight through the court there as Lindy Hereford in the back middle let it go. Stevens on the back line will serve. She gets it over. Pacheco going to set this one up wide, and that goes off the hands of Lindy Hereford in the back row. She had to kind of dive and avoid that ball, and Brooklyn Arnold could not. Brooklyn Arnold put it away. Hereford could not keep it alive. 11-9, Rawlins in set 3. Georges sets it up wide. Jenkins and knocks the legs out from underneath of the Rawlins back row player. I think that was Earl. Yes, that was Earl. I think she tried to kick it up with her feet, and she missed and fell on her backside after swinging her leg out. So it's 11-10. Mountain View keeping it tight here in set number 3. Bugus receives this hit on the back line on a bump. Digs it up. Jenkins sends it over the net. Third ball needing to be put over. It's going to be a free ball. It's going to be a bump to Lindy Hereford. She sends it to Georges. Georges sets it up wide to Jenkins, and Jenkins hits that corner. Jenkins was attempting to hit that corner, and she got it. And it is 11-all. So the Mountain View fans, the few that are in the attendance here in Casper, get up and try to make some noise. Let their girls know, hey, we got some fans here too. Georges, after the ball was set over from Rawlins. Lindy Hereford taps it over the block, kept alive. Just tried to be smacked down rooftop from Rawlins, not successful. Rinker slams it to the back corner, and yes, that's going to be a Mountain View point and a Mountain View lead for the first time in a while, and the first time in this match after it being through the first 10 points. Mountain View has a lead, 12-11 here in set number 3, trying to extend this match. And that one attacked from the outside. Miranda Wagner could not get all of it. And that's going to be a Mountain View point. The Mountain View fans are on their feet. They're cheering awfully loud, trying to mimic that noise from Rawlins. And it's 13-11. Mountain View fighting back here in set number 3. Keep it on, Mountain View. Rawlins on KADQ 98.3 and MyLocalRadio.com.
If you want your truck to really catch the eye, have the professionals at Plains Tire in Evanston install a custom lift kit with new tires and wheels. We've got a huge selection to choose from, so no matter what your style is, we've got the tires and wheels to make you smile. The way your truck looks reflects on you. Get the reflection you want with a lift kit, new tires, and wheels from Plains Tire in Evanston, the tire professionals. 157 Bear River Drive. Stop in today.
So we are MV for Mountain View chants ringing out here. The few fans trying to make as much noise as possible, and both teams out of their huddles, out of the timeout, and Georges is back to serve. Georges gets the serve over the net, floats it. Pacheco to set up Earl on the left side. Earl gets it off the block of Rinker. Haley Hereford tried to throw it back underneath the net and hit her own teammate Rinker. underneath the chin there, so she apologizes. It's 13-12. Rawlins gets the serve over. Georges, Rinker in the middle. Was it touched on a block? It was not touched. Rinker tried to attack it from the middle, and unfortunately for her, she hit into the net. No touch from a Rawlins player, so when she touched it again, it was a fourth ball, and it's a Rawlins point. Georges takes the second ball. Attacked from the back row. Allie Bugis jumps. 13-all in this third set. Georges on the outside. Jenkins off the double block. Pinballs around and lands in the back corner. That's going to be a Mountain View point. It is 14-13 here. Jenkins will take the serve on the back line for Mountain View. Kept alive, and that one is going to be a Mountain View point. It is 15-13 on the ace. Mountain View, after several points in a row, has come back here and leads 15-13. On the outside, attacked, and that is put away by Earl as it goes right by the outstretched hands of Georges, leaning to her left, trying to pick up the ball, could not. And it's 15-14. Rawlins trails here, but leads 2-0, and that one hits the net, rolls over the tape. And what a shame there for Frankie Jenkins. She was in position, and then the ball hit the net and crept over, so she was not in position anymore. And it's an ace. 15-all here in set number 3. Bugis rolls it over the net, keeps it alive. Pacheco going to set it up middle, and that is Jerome swinging and missing. Nearly hit the lines judge in the head because that was about 5-10 feet long out of bounds. Bugis, line drive serve, gets it over the net, 16-15. And that one is out of play, and nope, it was in. On the back line, it clipped the tape as Bugis kind of ducked, stuck her hands up just in case, but I'm not sure if she was letting that one go or it just went over her head, but albeit it hit the back line, 16-all. Georges sets up Lindy Herford. Lindy Herford, free ball, gives it to Rawlins. Pushed back. Bugis, third ball being bumped over from Haley Stevens. Another free ball for Rawlins on this possession. Bugis dives to her left to pick it up. Second ball from Georges, bumps it alive, and another free ball. Third attempt here for Rawlins. This one on the outside, tapped, kept alive momentarily, and a 4-hit there as both blockers touched it. Bugis touched it, and then Georgia sent it over the net. So that was 4 hits, and Rawlins looking good here. Kept it alive on the outside. Lindy Herford rolls it over the net. Rawlins leads 17-16. Haley Herford taps it over the net. Behind her head. Bugis on her knees receives that one in the back line, and it goes into the net. Georges tried to squat and pick it up from the bottom of the net and could not get her arms underneath it. And it's 18-16. Rawlins with the lead in this match. This one into the back corner. Georges. Herford. Georges. Bugis makes a dive, keeps it alive. And Lindy Herford sends that long up the far sideline by about 5 feet. And this one might be coming to a close for Mountain View, and Diana Timms senses that, calls a timeout on MyLocalRadio.com, maybe for the final time in this Mountain View championship run, as they trail 19-16 in set number 3.
If you had a toothache, would you see a foot doctor? Or would you go to the dermatologist to have a baby? Of course not. When your vehicle needs service, take it to the best qualified mechanics. At Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet, our technicians are GM certified service experts. They're trained to know every inch of your vehicle. Don't trust your vehicle to just anyone. Have all your service done at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet, 624 Front Street, Evanston. We're a different kind of dealer.
Back here in Casper, Rawlins enjoying a 19-16 advantage. If they win this set, they win the match and are in the finals against Lyman tomorrow. I'm not sure what Diana Timms could say. I'm not sure what I would say if I was her. Hopefully she influenced her team in the huddle, and they get the first point out of the break. Actually, no, they're going to say it looked like it was blocked at the net, but Haley Stevens, they're going to say that ball went into the net on a Haley Stevens attack and then went out of play. No touch called, and that is a Rawlins point. And that one gets over the net, so Lindy Herford able to get the point. She will give the ball to her sister, Haley Herford, to serve here, trailing 20-17. Haley Herford sends it to the back line. On the outside, swinging for it. Kept alive momentarily as Jenkins sticks her hands over her head, kind of flustered after that one, and how she was not able to direct it the correct way. And it's 21-17 Rawlins closing in on a finals appearance. Jenkins dives for that serve and cannot get to it in time. That's going to be an ace. And the final timeout for Diana Timms as Jenkins looks to be very distraught. Hopefully she is picked up by her teammates here in this huddle. And as Jenkins was coming off the sidelines, I'll say this in the nicest way possible. Obviously, I'm not disparaging any high school athletes. These are some of the most talented volleyball players in the entire state. If you've made it to this point, you are doing something right. Right now, it has been an off match for basically everyone. Basically, everyone on this Mountain View team has not had a good semifinal right now, but Frankie Jenkins seems to be getting the brunt of it right now as the ball is just seeming to find her, and she hasn't been able to play her own game like she usually does, and she seemed very distraught coming off to the sidelines, almost in tears, so seems to be in better spirits now onto the court, shaking her head, looking at the ground, and it's 22-17. The ball's back in play as Rawlins serves. And that's going to be a violation on Rawlins off of the serve. They're going to say a player was lined up underneath the net on a serve. Yes, that is what was called, so that is once-in-a-lifetime call, maybe. Not sure how you line up underneath the net on a serve, but it happened. Bugis takes this spike, gives it over to Jenkins. Jenkins taps it off the block of Jerome. And that is out of play. Pacheco tried to attack that one, the setter, and she could not get it. It went out of bounds on that far sideline. It is 22-19, so a couple points in a row here for Mountain View. They're going to need to play pretty perfect here if they want to advance and keep this match alive. Frankie Jenkins taps it off the block, and that one is in play, and that's going to be a Mountain View point. So Miranda Wagner on the block there, but the ball went right over her hands after she blocked it and fell to the ground. 22-20, Mountain View trails. They need this set to continue the match, and that's blocked at the net. Haley Stevens. Finally, some of the cheers that we see Mountain View accustomed to doing on the court. Haley Stevens with a huge kill there and a celebration afterwards. 22-21, Mountain View trails. Lindy Herford keeps it alive. Stevens just dumps it over the net on the outside, swinging for it. Frankie Jenkins. That's just what I mean. The ball is finding Frankie Jenkins. That one a high heater off the hands of Brooklyn Arnold, and Jenkins could not corral it. 23-21. Rawlins 2 points away from a finals berth. This one's going to be set up to Jenkins on the outside. Jerome was there. This is set up on the outside. Earl cannot finish it. Blocked at the net there. Jerome sends it to the back line, and that's going to be a Rawlins point, and it is set in match point here in Casper, Wyoming, for the Rawlins Outlaws looking to advance to a championship match tomorrow at 4 p.m. The serve gets over the net. Bugis takes it. Georges on the outside. Jenkins. And she gets it right in front of a back line defender, so the Mountain View fans cheer. They're not quite done yet. 24-22. They'll need to win the next 2 points to stay alive and then somehow squeak out this set. And Stevens gets it over the net on the serve. On the outside, Earl looking to finish it. Blocked, sent back to the Rawlins side. Pacheco blocked at the net there. Frankie Jenkins blocked it. It came on the Mountain View side. They come together and hug. Rawlins jumping up and down, and they will go to the championship match. 25-22, a tight final set here in Casper, but unfortunately for Mountain View, they come up just shy in this one. They will still play tomorrow, so Mountain View, if you're a Mountain View fan, come listen in live on MyLocalRadio.com and KADQ radio station 98.3 in that Evanston area, Bridger Valley. So Mountain View is going to play, let me just pull up the bracket and confirm that I do not give out the wrong time here. Mountain View will play at 10:30 in the morning tomorrow. 10:30 in the morning tomorrow. Powell and Mountain View to play each other. The winner will get to play following that match at 2 p.m. So could have 3 consecutive matches here for Lyman and Mountain View, as 10:30 in the morning tomorrow, Mountain View will try to get third place in the regional in the state playoffs. If they win against Powell, they'll play the Douglas and Lander Valley winner, and the winner of that match will be for third place. So a couple matches to get to third place tomorrow, starting at 10:30 a.m. on KADQ and MyLocalRadio.com. And then we have our championship match set. Lyman is going to be playing Rawlins, 2 number 1 seeds. What could it be better? It could not be better. At 4 p.m. tomorrow, join us for that championship match as well. Well, you heard from Brescia Hansen, head coach of the Lyman Eagles, and Cassidy Nelson of the Lyman Eagles. They said they're ready and willing to go. Let's see how Mountain View wakes up tomorrow morning, knowing that they can get third place, still a respectable finish at the state playoffs. They'll have 2 matches tomorrow. If they win the first, they will play again at 2 p.m. Join us at 10:30 tomorrow morning. Once again, I'm Sean Bennett signing off on MyLocalRadio.com and KADQ 98.3.